Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Reiner and today I'm releasing a new character builder version 0.4. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more information or videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, I still have a couple of people that registered for the giveaway but were unable to get their prizes. You can see their names right now on the screen in the top left. Naku-chan's inbox is full and therefore I cannot send the prize. The others have an even bigger issue. Their handle is incorrect. If any of you see the video, please comment your real handle below so I can give you your prizes. If you've followed my channel for at least 2 months now, I guess, maybe a little bit less even, you might have already seen the character builder I made in Excel. It worked pretty well, but it also had a couple of serious drawbacks. It was kind of laggy and slow, depending on the system, I guess. A quicker system will be better. But there were also some limitations to adding things. This was more of a drawback to me. But the thing got a little bit more complicated than I wanted. But the biggest drawback was that it relied on Excel. And this was basically also the cause for the first two, but whatever. Not everybody has Excel. And it will not work in any other spreadsheet program like OpenOffice or LibreOffice or whatever you can imagine, whatever is out there. Therefore, I made a decision. And it was a pretty big decision. I've decided to go do some programming. As some might know, I am a programmer myself as a hobby, but also professionally, so this is not a thing that I'm particularly shy of. So let's see this builder I made. It's here. I've named it the Neverwinter Character Builder Plus. I should have added a version number here as well, but I will add that in the next version. What the plus stands for, I will get back on later on. As with the previous Excel builder, this tool will provide the same accuracy and stats, but with some additional benefits, hence the plus. But I will also get back on more of the additional things. To start off, this tool is backwards compatible with any save file from the Excel tool. So any CBF files made in those tools can be loaded into this one. Of course, this is not true the other way around. If you make a save file in this one, you cannot load it in the Excel tool. But if you load an old save file, let me show you, you will get a warning here that, well, basically the old save file does not have sufficient information. And to be more precise, it lacks information about the universal insignia slots. I basically didn't add in the save file which type of insignia you put in there. So it's the dominance, regal, illuminated, etc. So the tool will actually fill in something for you here. And it tells you to recheck the insignia bonuses. The thing is, with the previous tools, I didn't really look at the insignia bonuses anyway. But yeah, now it can be wrong. So do check the insignia bonuses and get back to save the file again. Before we dive into making a character, let's skim through the functions. Of course, as I already mentioned, you can load and save a file. I've already loaded an old file. You can also save it, as I mentioned, and you can reset your file. Here at the left, you see the status for all of the chapters of your builder. And red, of course, means that it's empty. Yellow means that it's partially filled in, and green means that it's filled in. And this will help you keep track of what you still have to fill in, basically. Next to those options, we also have some views. We can look at the player statistics, we can look at the companion statistics, and look at the attributes, so your strength, constitution, dexterity, etc. We will get to that later on. I also have an extra option here which has some grayed out things. We have a pocket wiki as well, which is very empty at the moment, but it will be more in here. I will get also back to that later. And of course we have an about section, just like basically the old Excel file. The README has almost the same text as before, but what I've done is I've made some buttons for the links in the README. What you will see throughout this tool is that all buttons with the red text on them will have a link to web browser, and you also have different kind of links with green text, and those will be links towards the Pocket Wiki. So here this text you can read, you have all kinds of links here. We also link to the Pocket Wiki here so you can quickly go to it. Then we have the credits. Credits are kind of the same as before. Also we have some links here to the links that I had before up here. This is the same as before, basically. I've changed the names a bit for my patrons. Some people were added, some removed, but basically this is the same thing. And the last, we have the change tracker, of course. I have now a text change tracker, so this is maybe a little bit easier, and I've also reversed the order. So the latest version, or the oldest version, is at the bottom, and the newest version is at the top. As you can see, it's just a small list, but this was kind of more than 4 weeks work. And it's most of all, it was the top thing. But you can see the other things here as well. Let's not go through that. Let's just create a character and see how it looks. First, let's just open up the statistics screens. So we have the player statistics, which will pop up a screen like this. Let's actually remove this here from the background. So we have a player stats, which will show you item level, hit points, everything basically. We have already a couple of statistics. These are base statistics, and you can see also if you hover over them, you can see where the statistics are coming from. Right now this doesn't look like much, but you will see that this is very helpful. Here you can see, for example, 75% base stats, and from your attribute, your dexterity, you have 1.5% as well. We have already dexterity because we have the ability scores. You get at level 80, you get always 2 from a level 30 and level 60, I think, 30 and 60, you get 1 point. And I also added the campfire buff, which is by default on, I guess. So you already have 3 in each of these, and so you get a couple of these statistics already. Next up, we also have the companion stats. We have not picked a companion yet, so these are all 0. First thing to fill in, where we have to start, because gear is grayed out, you have to pick a class first. Feats is the same thing, you have to pick a class first. Powers is not implemented yet. And then companions, you also need to pick a class first. But yeah, let's go in here. Here you'll see that you have also links to these screens. You can pop them up. You can also reset this page only. So here you can reset the whole build, and here you can reset individual pages if you want to start over here for some reason. So if you pick, for example, Ranger here, it will immediately, make this yellow because you have it partially filled in. It will also fill in your class attributes, and with that your class statistics, and it will also fill in your base HP and your con bonus. If I didn't fill this in, I don't get my con bonus. That's okay, whatever. So you can see here that the con bonus is really small. And this is something that I want to make very explicit, that you can see what source gives you how many statistics to be able to see the differences. So if you, for example, pick Metallic Dragonborn, you will also get options here. You can pick your racial attributes, and you see the racial bonuses here. And one of the bonuses is, for example, that your maximum hit points is 3% higher than that of other races. And this affects not everything in your build, but in here you can also see your race HP bonus, which is in this case 855. And while you fill in your the rest of your sheet, you can track this raised HP bonus, how much this is actually adding to your build. So the rest is pretty self-explanatory. You can pick some statistics here. If you pick something else, of course, you get different statistics and different options here. Most races have only one choice and one fixed. So you will see that like this, a human has one pick for 3. So there are some different options here. Typically you go for Metallic Dragonbone here because that is the best in slot race. I've also added the Gith race already, but yeah, it's not that great power wise. So let's pick that. Down here you can also pick your ability score improvements. What I mentioned at the start, at level 30 and level 60 you already have 1 point of each. So that's not a choice, it's already filled in, and that's why we started with 2 points and 1 from the buff. So here also you can just fill it in however you want. Just click the pluses and the minuses. You can also remove 1 here. There's no limitation. You can, as long as you fill in 2 in each thing, and you can see that it is being added real time here. And you can see that here's also the campfire buff race. It's all separated, and here it's just a bit the attributes. So that is the race class attributes page. I didn't really have a better name for it. It was first general or something like that, but that wasn't a very descriptive name. As you can see, I filled everything in and this turns green. So we can just close this. If we open it again, of course it's back. Then we come to the gear page. The gear page has a lot. You can immediately see here a green link, which, as I mentioned before, is a link to the internal wiki. If you click on this, you get this page, which also links to the gear database of Bjørnar, from which all this gear data is coming from. I basically import the gear from there, and here you have a couple of filters to look through the gear. You can select the class. For example, I only want ranger gear or any gear, so everything that can be worn by rangers. I want the main hands, and I want to sort them by accuracy, for example. I'm just saying something. And then you can look at this stuff here if you want. If you want to select gear for your build, you have to click on these big buttons. Maybe you've already seen it, but this looks a little bit like the in-game screen with the same layout for your gear items and also the artifacts at the bottom. If you click on one of these, you get a nice selector and you can look through these items. At the right, you see the statistics real time. So you can pick like this what you want to wear. So we're just going to pick something. It doesn't have to be best in slot, whatever. You can select it, which will put it here. You can also reset it, which will remove it, and you can just cancel, which doesn't make any changes to the screen. What you already saw real quickly, if you hover over this item, you see all the statistics of this item. So I didn't put all the statistics in the screen. It would be just too much. So I opted to make tooltips for that. So if you hover over items, you see all the statistics. Right now, you see at the almost bottom of this tooltip that there's two slots, one enchantment utility slot and an overload general slot, and those are empty right now. You can fill those in by going to enhancements. If you fill those in here by putting in darks or maybe tacticals, which are right now better, you will see that those are added in this tooltip. You see the statistics here. I'm not super happy with this screen yet. It will be fixed or improved in a further version of the tool. You can also put in the armor kits here if there's a slot for armor kits here. The armor kit is not added here yet. I forgot it, but I will do that. And of course, all these statistics, so combined item level gives you all kind of statistics, maximum hit points, power, critical strike. I have this cattle head of successor, and if you hover over these items, you see that this item is actually adding to your statistics. And also the armor kit is separately mentioned, as you can see. Okay, so if we fill this in a little bit more, let's put in some stuff. We have the main hand, we have shirts and feet, trousers, I mean. We have rings, waist items. I don't have every item yet. We're still working on that. Skull Elf is doing all the OCR business. So if you see any typos, I already saw a typo just now. Yeah, that's just OCR stuff. It's not a big deal. It still works. But yeah. So the offhand also has some separate options. You can select your artifact class feature, which will give you some statistics. And you also have an artifact modification. And you can fill in here, the tooltip is not correct. It always shows 10,000. I forgot about that one. But if you fill in an item here for most, you can only go up to 2,500. But for hit points, health, you can go up to 10,000, and it will only limit you to that. And you can only fill in numbers here. So let's put it back to power, and this to critical severity or something, I don't know. And you can also see that those are added here. Critical severity is down here, offhand class feature, and the power offhand artifact modification. So this is all very nice. Also these you can fill in, of course. Let's put in radiance here, because why not? And this will all add up. Also item level is totally broken down into where you get your item level from. Then we have artifacts. Artifacts also the screen I'm not super happy with yet. We need more filters. What kind of statistics are on artifacts? What kind of... I want to add also qualities for artifacts, because now it's only mythical. So maximum level artifacts. But yeah, you can preview all of the artifacts here. And you can select the ones that you want to use. We also have the Helister's Blast Scepter in here, which is a new one. And if you pick it, of course, it's all also added to your statistics. As with everything, you can also add your offhand, and we of course also have hover over tooltips here. So let's just leave it like this. It will stay yellow, of course, so we know it's not completely filled in, but we're not here to fully make a build or something. This is not my build, or I'm just quickly going through this. Next up, we have the Boon page, and it does look a little bit like gravestones, I admit. I was working on this and it just turned out to be like this. In this page you can select boons. You cannot select for the tiers that you haven't unlocked yet. It does show how many boon points you have available. I am sticking with 70 for now, but officially, formally, I think the maximum is 67, and due to some kind of bug, some people have 70. Of course you can, well, of course, I haven't implemented the milestones, so you can pick one of these top boons before you have sufficient boons invested, but that's not really a big deal. So once you pick them, you just click on the plus and minus. If you pick one of the top tier, you cannot pick another one. Stuff like that is also implemented. So you can fill in by just pressing plus and minus. If you have stuff filled in here and you do not qualify for these tiers anymore because you don't have 10 points in the bottom tier, the top tiers are removed. Also, as you see, of course, you see the tooltips. I have all of the descriptions for the boons because not all of them are obvious. If you hover over the gravestones, you see the text of what these boons give you, what they should give you. Of course, also a lot of courses here. You can see the statistics and the item levels of these boons in your things here. So you can see exactly what you get. Then we also have the guild stronghold. I've tried to make this page a little bit like in-game as again. If you go to the guild stronghold, you can select one of each of these boons. Typically we go like this. But you can pick whatever you want, and it will also affect these, of course, again. Here the con bonus is still very low. The race HP bonus is a little bit higher, but it's, as I said, it's not affecting everything, so it's not really a very big bonus like that. Then we get to the mounts. mounts. I'm not super happy with the screen once again. It's a little bit lackluster, but if you click on a mount, you can pick, and I'm a little bit happier with this one, to be honest. You can pick any mount. Maybe I'm probably missing a couple of special ones here. I'm fairly sure I am, but you can pick a mount here, and it will show you the insignias that it gives, and also the possible insignia bonuses for each of the mounts. And this is very crucial because we're not picking a mount for the mount, because the mount itself does not give any statistics. We're picking it for the insignia bonuses. So what I did, because you don't want to click through all of these, I've made an insignia bonus filter. If you pick any insignia bonus here, for example Shepherd's Devotion, you will only get mounts here that have the Shepherd's Devotion insignia bonus. So here, X-Beak, Shepherd's Devotion, Black Ice Warhorse, Carpet of Flying. These will all have the Shepherd's Devotion insignia bonus. And this will help you get the correct mount for your insignia bonus. Once again, we have the cancel, reset, and select. Same function as before. Select is putting it in your page, reset is removing it from the page, and cancel is no change to the page. So if you select it here, we get a Coastal Flail Snail. We have a barbed universal slots here. And if we click on insignias, we can fill in our insignias. Once again, it will show you which bonuses that are available. We don't have a bonus selected right now because we don't have insignias filled in, and this is not very clear what the combination is that you need for each of these bonuses. So therefore you can go to the insignia bonuses wiki, which is in here already, and here you can see we wanted Shepherd's Devotion, so we can actually type in here Shepherd, and then we have it here, and then we see Regal Barbed Illuminated and the description. We need a Regal Barbed and Illuminated, so if we fill in a Regal or a Barbed, better here, so for example a Barbed Brutality, Legendary, or whatever rank you want. Again, cancel, reset, select, and you see the statistics here is the select. We need a Regal and Illuminated, so let's go for the Regal first. We do a Regal Dominance because Dominance is very good, and we need an Illuminated. As you can see, the universal slots have a lot more options because you can put any type in here, and light and brutality. Let's see. Eagle Barbed Illuminated. Whoops. I'm already surprised that it said no bonus selected. Oh, I can actually resize this. That's not good. So if you put a dominance here, so I can also make that's not nice. I selected Illuminated. Okay, so now I have the correct ones selected. It will show you Shepherd's Devotion. When you use the daily power, your and your teammates' defense is increased by 1500 and their movement speed is increased by 10%. We don't have a confirmation button here anymore, so there's nothing to do. It's already filled in. You will also see your insignia bonus here once again, and if you hover over here, you see the insignia selected here and also the insignia bonus once again. You can do this for all your mounts. I'm not gonna do that. It's just the same thing every time. Next up, we have the combat powers. I have the combat power names in here now, and you can check them all here. It's basically also a small wiki, I guess. If you select them, you see the text here. There are some changes coming up on preview which have not been processed here, but I will work on that. There's probably going to come a version 0.4.1 very quick after this 0.4. Anyway, you can see what the power does and also which mount gives this power. I think it's almost always one that gives the power, even for the Tyrannosaur, because they have different power names, even though they do exactly the same thing. So if we select one of them, the Bat Swarm for example, it will be filled in here, and you can once again also hover over it to see what you have picked. Equip power is the same thing. You also have the names here. Pick whatever you need. Stalwart is very good nowadays. At least if you are going to do the trial, you need a lot of hit points. So you can use this one, and here also you can hover over it and it will show you the statistics. Let's close this one. Also, of course, once again, you see all of your statistics in here as well. So you see your stalwart in here for hit points. Bat Swarm you don't see in the statistics because it's an active power that you have to do, and those are not processed yet. By the way, here you also see the dexterity is improved also by gear, so the chained restraints also give 2 dexterity. I forgot to show that. Okay, it's not on the tooltip yet. I have some work to do as well. Anyway, that was the mounts. Let's go to companions. Companions was a very complicated screen to do. It will, of course, affect these, but also your own statistics. If you pick here a companion, you want to select maybe a category, so you can check out the categories if you want to add to your active companion for bolster. You can also select I want to have an augment or companion. Typically people want to slot an augment, maybe some want to slot a companion explicitly. These are filters for this list here. So if we pick something here, for example, surprise, surprise, the blood pup, it will show you the statistics and also the skills of this augment. Of course, augments don't have any special skills. It's always augmentation and enhancement. Companions have a couple more skills, and you can see them all in here. They're all in here. Well, all. I'm probably missing a couple because I don't have those companions yet. Working on that. So let's select the blood pup. Once again, we have these 3 buttons. Select. Once we selected a companion, we will immediately get some statistics here, and because this is an augment, the augment statistics are also transferred to my character. So here you can see in the 4th line augment statistics. I do not get bonding procs yet because my bonding slots are empty. Once I fill these, you will see that I also have, next to the augment statistics, also have not hit points. Where are they? Stats transferred from companion bonding. So those are the stats that I get from my bonding thingy. Now, if we look at companion statistics, you see them all calculated here. We have a creature selected. Our bullet pup is a creature augment, and it has a bolster bonus of 12.5 right now. You can change your bolster bonus right here. So if you click on the plus, it will change it real time. And also affect all the statistics here. So let's set it to 15, whatever. And here you can select your gear, which is basically the same as the gear on the previous page. And it has the new 1010 companion gear in here, which is a little bit crazy because it makes it almost too easy to cap your statistics. Let me show you. If I take this combat advantage one, I'm already going to 96,000 combat advantage with one of those, and I haven't even filled in my gear properly. So that's pretty insane. So we can do that for all 3. I'm not going to do that once again. The video will be too long. Here we can put in the companion enhancement power, which is the purple equip power that you can pick. You see the text here, and you can once again cancel, reset, and select it. So let's pick let's take potent precision. Once it's picked, it will show up here, and you can hover over it to see what the text is. Also works with the companion equip powers. This is a little bit of an ugly screen, I guess. But here you can pick your offense power now, because we selected an orange power, which is offense. And the colors, of course, are determined by which class you pick. And if you pick something here, let's say hit points and power, select which quality you want. If it's not NA, it's available. So these qualities cannot be received in the game, they're not available. So let's pick the legendary here. We have Crystal Golem Presence, which gives 16,000 maximum hit points and 2,000 power. If you pick the epic one, wait, that's a different one. Anyway, if you pick the epic one, you get different statistics, of course. And these once again are added to your player statistics. So 4,000 common advantage and 2,000 accuracy, common advantage here. So Book Im's presence is in here at the bottom. You can fill this in for all of them. You have the offense powers, you have the defense powers, and you have the utility powers. We have also a cancel and reset and the 5 select buttons here. It, once again, is a little bit ugly. I need to look into how to make this a little bit nicer to the eye. So that's the companions. Next up we have the feats. At the feats, well, you have to select a class first before you can actually open this screen. Then we have to select the ranges, so we can select the hunter or the warden. And if you select one of those, you get your feats. And one thing I forgot here actually is to have the hover over text. So that's going to be added soon. So we know what we're picking, but here it's basically the same as in the old character builder. You can select something by just clicking on it and it will become dark. So those are the picked ones. Maybe I can make this a little bit more obvious which one is picked and which one isn't. But yeah, this is how it works right now. And of course you can reset the page if you want to. That works with all the pages, by the way. Last is a very small one, is the campfire buff page, which you can just, it will affect these attributes. It will increase them by 1, and therefore also the statistics here. Because if you add the campfire buff, it will also increase your companion influence, which will increase your companion statistics, which will increase your normal statistics, etc, etc. But that 1 point doesn't do that much here, actually. It's actually 0.5%, so. But yeah, it's nice that you can pick it, because normally people will make builds in a hub where you always have the campfire buff. So a lot of talking. We've already seen these pages. Yeah, we have. So that's basically what we have right now. The link to download this tool can of course be found in the description below. It's on my Patreon, free of charge, no ads, no cost to purchase this or something. It's all free as always. This is a work in progress, so more functions will come. If you have any proposed features, make sure to go into my Discord server where these kind of things can be discussed. The link to my Discord can be found in the description below. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.